Okay. Hello, everyone. You're welcome. Welcome today. Again, it's always a pleasure to have you all for this podcast session organized by Solavis Technologies Institute. And we want to let you know that these podcast sessions, they occur every 2 weeks, right? Every 2 weeks. The best experts, out there, those who are actually practicing, it's for us to bring to you, you know, those who are those whom you admire to be like them, actually. And it's also to bring to you those whom you want to hear from, right? Those people you've been admiring on LinkedIn. You just see their post, right? You see their stories, but you never heard from them. You never heard their voice, right? And so today is one of those sessions that we decided that, hey, you know, a lot of people are struggling in their tech career. A lot of people want to get into tech. You know, a lot of people are already on their tech journey, and probably they got in quite easy, very easy, to just start studying. Maybe you want to do software engineering, particular programming language, or you want to get into cloud, and they tell you that you need to learn about this. To You go and learn it, read the docs, go to YouTube, and then you start learning, and learning, and they realize that, hey, you know what? Talk to. I don't have someone who can tell me, do this, do this, do this, do this, right? And that is why on this session today, why talent alone is not enough. Your technical skills alone, they are not enough, right? And so before we dive into that session, we want to hear from all of you guys where you're all joining from, right? Just before we started the session, I learned that there's someone who is just close to me where I am here in Accra.
I guess Eric must be having challenges with his network, right?
That's right,
Eric, can
Kevin.
you? Yeah, awesome. Okay, I think before he comes back, I can stand in as he starts us off. And what Eric was asking you is, please let us know where you're dialing in from. I can see Mba TB. You're saying you're joining from Bameda, Cameroon. I'm currently in Nairobi, Kenya. It's quite chilly. That is why I had to wear a jacket. I thought I would freeze and shine my AWS t-shirt. But anyways,
Okay, guys.
it's too cold. Hi, Eric. Hope you're back. Yeah, so I can see some people are already telling us where they're dialing in from. That is Dixon is from Meru, Kenya. Joseph Kimani from Nairobi, Kenya. Lucky from Nigeria. Ramat from Accra, Ghana. Eric, you can go on. I think you're telling us you got to know someone who you are in the same city with in Accra. Are you back already, Eric? I can see, you can quite not. Yes, you can now see your video. You can continue, Eric. Okay. Seems Eric has dropped off or something, but anyways, I can see more. I can continue highlighting and shouting out people, shouting out in the chat. Can see Atanga from Yaounde, Cameroon. Ruth from Lagos in Nigeria, Albert from Kumasi in Ghana, Pius from Sunyani, Ghana. I can see your countrymen, Eric. You've really done a good job this time around. Usually, Kenyans usually continue to rule the world, but I'm seeing a lot of Ghana and Cameroon. But I can see you're doing magic in that in that side of the continent. Eric, over
I'm
to
learning.
you.
Okay, thank you so much, Kevin. Thank you. Whatever I'm doing, I'm learning from you, right? Yeah, guys, so don't mind him. Don't mind. He wants to make us feel. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for your patience. I was kicked out, right? So, we're just going to start right away without much ado. And I think Kevin has, followed up on the introduction, right? And it's good to know that we are all joined here from different angles of the world, bringing you global experts, right? And so, um, today we're going to talk about, like I said, the role of mentorship in tech careers, right? Why your skills alone, they are not enough. The fact that you can, deploy an application is not enough, right? The fact that you can build an e-commerce website or an e-commerce platform is not enough, right? Um, the fact that you can create a database is not enough, right? So it goes beyond that. And that's why we are bringing to you why mentorship is very, very important, right? Why mentorship is very, very important. Let me bring our speakers here so that we can all see them. A second. So we have first we have Ramat. Ramat is joining us right from here in Accra, right? But Nigerian, and it's a pleasure to have you, Ramat.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. Hi, everyone. I'm Ramat Akintola.
Great. Okay, just a second. Let me add the spotlight. Let me add the spotlight. Okay, perfect. I don't know if Patrick, okay, Patrick hasn't joined us, yes? Okay. Just a second. Has Patrick joined, Kevin? Can you check for me?
No,
I can't see.
not yet. I've checked. Not yet. I'll ping you when he joins, and I'll also follow it up with him on the side. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So, guys, amazing. So on the call here, we have amazing people. You've so much inspired me on LinkedIn. Let me start with Ramat. Ramat is is based here in Accra, right? She is a technical program manager right here in Accra, and then also a DPG advisor, right? And a lot of her work spans around mostly a mentorship. I followed her. I always follow her on LinkedIn. And she's always inspired me a lot, right? And then we have Promise. Promise, sorry, you're getting the noise from my end here just because I'm in the host area. Promise right there. Right there from Germany, right from Germany. A lot of her posts also about mentorship, right? And she's also always giving tips about cloud and DevOps, right? Cloud and DevOps. Yes. So guys, if you want any tips on cloud and DevOps, you can follow her on LinkedIn, right? And then for Emma too, you can also follow on LinkedIn, anything around mentorship, community, and whatnot. Promise works at as an SRE at TeamViewer, right? And she does a lot of work in that area. Aside that, she's so inspired about communities, right? And a lot of her work too, she's a member of the Code First Girls Ambassador. She's an ambassador actually, and also a mentor at Coding for Black Females, right? That's Edda Promise. So it's a pleasure to have you. I'll be assisted by Kevin, as he already said. And we want to start first by, just want to find out from you guys. Let me start with Ramat. Let me go with Ramat, right? Ramat, you got into tech. How was it for you? How did you get into tech actually?
Okay. So basically I'll start with my background. So I have a background in accounting. I studied accounting in school, and even for a few years, like 2 years, I was actually in the process of like doing my accounting certifications and all of those things. So then I was working with a cooperative back in Nigeria where I was like the accounts where I was an account officer. And it was so for me I didn't notice then, but the job was like really repetitive for me. I felt like I knew everything that I had to do. Wait for a few months, get inputs, update the account and all of those things. It was repetitive, it was easy, and I just felt bored of it. So I was telling some people that I knew that, oh, is there something else I can do? I'm tired of doing this accounting job. I had friends that were working in as auditors that were towards that line, but particularly around fraud detection and all of those things as an accountant, because that's what auditors do sometimes. But then someone told me about tech, right? It was like, oh, you can just learn on free code camp or something. So I started learning HTML on free code camp. The person was based in Accra and me, I was in Nigeria. So there was this a community which they were doing this Python build your web app in Python in 3 days. A boot camp, an on-site boot camp actually in Accra. And I was just like, I'm not doing anything because I'm bored of this job. Please let me just move to Accra and attend this boot camp. Funnily enough, there was this like where we had to like pass a certain questions, some questions on set, dictionary, and just a bit of like technical questions before you even get accepted into bootcamp. I didn't know anything. I was struggling with HTML on free code camp. So I told the person to like do the test for me so I can just pass and get in. It did. I got into the boot camp. I moved to Accra, attended the boot camp. After 3 days, they were asking us to build a website with like no knowledge. I mean, they taught us Python, but
Wow.
we all know Python is not like a front end language for the web or something. So basically then I do know what to do. We were in a group, so one of my group member that did computer science in school and was very familiar with HTML built the website. I can remember clearly when she was typing the form tag and all of those things. It was just like magic to me. But I wanted to stay. And I remembered I had quit my job to move to Accra. So it was like a do or do or no. It was basically no going back for
Do
me.
was like it was a do or do situation.
Exactly, all in, like I'm all in basically. I stopped
Yeah.
my professional exam. I remember exam as well, but I didn't take that. I stopped it. I stopped both of them. I like when I moved to Accra, my dad was always calling me that. So do you have a job in 2 months, or will you be getting a job in this new career or something? It kept pressuring me, but basically that's the story of how I got into tech via that boot camp and then some other boot camps that I joined as well.
Wow. Wow. That's interesting. So you talked about your dad being worried, like you already get a job. Are you going to get a job? Maybe like the next 2 weeks, next few months, right? So when you are leaving, is that what you told them that within a few months you're going to get a job,
No, I
right?
did
What?
not. I did not. So I think the worry came from the fact that I had already started a career in my accounting and finance line. In fact, I was even beyond just my professional exam. I was going to travel for my master's. I had already started like researching things around fraud, forensic accounting, and things that I wanted to do in line with my accounting background. I'd already started a career in it. I'd worked for a few years for something that because I was the one leading the accounts team then at the cooperative. So I guess he was mostly worried about the fact that for something I'd established myself in, trying to take professional exam, and then I'm throwing it all away to start all over in a new country, in a new career that I don't even know how the job market is and what to do and all of those things. I guess that was where his worry came from. I definitely did not promise I was going to get a job in 2 or 3 months.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. I can hear you, Eric. Okay, as Eric, I think, sorts his network, we can go to Promise. You can get to know how, Promise, you started out your career all the way to TeamViewer. You know, the only TeamViewer I know is on the jersey of my Manchester United team.
Yeah, that's why it's very popular. I know that.
Anyways, by all
Whenever I
means,
say, oh, I'm
please.
working on TeamViewer, the guys will be like, oh, the Manchester jersey. I'm like, yeah, that's just a jersey, but we're a company. Yeah,
Exactly.
people that are also into Formula One, we also sponsor
Mm,
Formula
sure.
One. So it
Yeah,
was
yeah,
like, it's like,
exactly, exactly.
yeah.
F1, yeah. Yeah, by all
Yeah.
means, yeah.
So going into my journey, it's I think I would say I started that in tech out of just being bored, actually, because I was studying. I think at that time I was almost at the last stage of my bachelor's degree. I did my bachelor's degree in business and management, and COVID came. That was 2020, and there was nothing to do, and I was really bored. And yeah, I was just scrolling one time, and I saw like Python, like you could learn Python. I was like, yeah, to keep myself busy, let me just do this. So I started learning and I was really fascinated about, that I could write a line of code and something comes up. So I just started learning it over like, I think 1 or 2 months. And then I stopped actually. So at that time, the fascination went off, the motivation died. And at that time, I didn't really know what consistency means, that's how you build over time. So I just stopped. And at some point, I stumbled upon data analysis. And since it was related to, what I was doing in school, I was like, okay, perhaps I could be a data analyst. I started learning SQL and I abided Python a little bit. I learned SQL to an extent and I was like, I'm not called out for aesthetics. You have to do presentations, PowerPoint, and that wasn't me. And then I stopped. I stopped the old tech journey entirely. And I think it was 2021, I stumbled upon like a long time, I think distance friend, and he told me that he just got an internship. And we are both in the country where if you do not know the language, it is difficult to get a job. And it was like, oh, I just got an internship. I was like, in this country, it was like, yeah. So what are you learning? What did you do? It was like cloud engineering. At that time, it was easy. You could just get a cloud certification and you are already a cloud engineer. The market is a little bit different right now. So I was like, okay, if you could learn it and get a job, you just have one head. I could do it too. So I just entered and started learning the AWS. That's how I got into cloud. And it was really fascinating for me because I didn't have to do any technical stuff. So you just learn the cloud. And at that time, there was no this hype of Terraform or all the stuff. Just know the UI. Companies were willing to train you on the job. Yeah, so I started doing that. And I think at the end of 2022, I was still, then now I'm in my master's degree. So it became clear to me that I would not find a job here in this market because I was too introverted to be a marketer or in the business field because you have to talk to people every day and I wasn't called out for that. So I was like, okay, the only way I cannot talk to people a lot is tech. So, but honestly, when I look at my motivation, it wasn't about, passion, honestly. It was just, I looked at my condition and aligned my career accordingly. And I think at the end of 2022, I went for what we call Erasmus. So it's an exchange program where you do the final part of your degree in another country. So I went to Poland, and at that time, Poland was like a hub for, technical stuff. So companies were willing to train you on the job, do internships and all that. So I found myself in some of this, 2, 3 months internships where you build something and yeah. But I think the turning point of mine was when I stumbled upon Code First Girls. They were willing to, so you get into the program, a company sponsors your space, and then you get a job. But at that time, I already knew a lot. It was for me just getting the job. And I got into the program, finished, and at some point, the company was like, we cannot hire you as a software engineer because you already know the operations part of the job. Do you want to be a site reliability engineer? That's how I found myself in the role, actually. It wasn't like the goal was to be a site reliability engineer. The goal was to be a cloud engineer. But since I already knew how to code, they just like, okay, you could just combine being a software engineer and being the operations part of the job, and you're a site reliability engineer. So that's how the company moved me to Germany. And yeah, that's how I became a site reliability engineer, I think for like 2 years already.
Nice. What a beautiful story. I love the fact that you mentioned about you wanted to find a career that involved you not talking to people. And here you are talking to us about your
Yeah, I
about
know,
your
right?
career. Yeah.
Yeah. I
It's
mean,
all, yeah, but
when I say
yeah,
talking
please
to
go on. Mhm.
people, if you're a marketer, you have to,
Sure.
appeal to people's desire to buy something.
Yeah,
I can barely
exactly.
convince myself to buy something. How would I convince somebody else to buy something? So I knew at that point it wouldn't be for me. I mean, in tech, you also have to talk to stakeholders and all that, but it's not something you do
Yes.
every day. And it's something you could
Yeah,
circumvent to say someone else should do it. And I just do build the infrastructure. Someone else should be the face to talk to the stakeholders.
I agree with you. And it seems that also you have this personality where you don't bargain for the things. If something is $30, you just buy it. You don't have time to deal.
Exactly. You understand?
Yeah, don't have
That's
time to
why I
deal
don't
with.
do that's why I do not do online shopping. I just go to the store, I find what I want, and I just buy.
Be just gone. No dealing with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for that story. Yeah, sure. I can see Patrick is here. We can also get to know Patrick, welcome. I know we were waiting for you. You can tell us about how you got into tech, and then we can get right on to these aspects around why talent is not enough. I'm raring to go, and I know, hope Eric, you've gotten better network. You are representing a whole country there. Anyways, uh, Patrick, over to you.
Hi, Kevin. Hi, everybody. I hope I'm visible. I'm audible.
Yeah. Yes,
I know.
you're visible, you're audible.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. And apologies for stepping in late. If you hear some noise, please apologies. I'm by the roadside. But I'm really excited to be here, and I've really enjoyed the two speakers that I've heard from. My name is Patrick Odhiambo. Currently, I work as a technical trainer, leading a program on data analytics. Interesting, someone said they tried data analytics. That's a program that I'm leading at the moment. However, up and above that, I'm many things. I am also a cloud engineer. I'm a DevOps engineer. I am a software engineer. And interestingly, I came into tech by, I want to call it a good accident, because my background is actually in biological sciences. And I normally joke and say the only relationship between biological sciences and computer sciences where I'm in are the networks, where in biological sciences we are taught about the leaf networks, but here we are taught about how to network computers. Interesting stuff. Now I've told you that I got into tech by a good coincidence, because part of my life I was an online writer, content creator. We all used to call ourselves article writers. So I wrote some content around. I landed this client who wanted me to write some stuff on security, IT security, because they were a managed service provider. And when I was doing my research and writing these articles, I just got interested. And then I felt like this looks like a good place to get into. A year or so later, a friend of mine who is a DevOps engineer approached me and asked me if I was still interested in getting into tech. And then he suggested that maybe I try LX Africa. So I started my journey from doing software engineering at ALX. And then the same time I also got an opportunity to do AWS research from Ajira. Ajira is a Kenyan company that teaches people cloud. So that's where I started. And from that point, I haven't looked back. I think right now I'm 2 times certified AWS, a couple of times certified the other clouds. And I have done other things, including CloudSec, including AI, and many others. And now I'm into the data space. Yes, so my entry was through friends giving me an opportunity and pointing me to the right direction, and also benevolence from different stakeholders that gave us those opportunities to enjoy like scholarship from ALX and another scholarship from AWS Research. Yes, Kevin, that is my journey, and it's still developing. I've done a lot of things. Humble brag, as you like saying. A humble brag, as you like saying. I'm currently doing my master's. in cybersecurity and digital forensics. So we are still growing. So it was really interesting to pivot from biological sciences to computer sciences, and the journey has just begun. Thank you.
Awesome. The other thing Patrick doesn't mention is I mentored him. He was thinking about where to go and do his masters and the couple of things. So he's this kind of guy who you will mentor and you'll not even know you are mentoring him because he just makes it look very, very natural. He has a lot of checks, pending checks from me because he has to pay me for the amount of work I've done. Anyways, back to you, Eric. You can kick us off with our very fast query questions to our panelists, by all means. And you also have a pending check from me for always sitting in for you when your network does a thing.
I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, I'm going to send you the check, right? So, back to you, Ramat. Your story was quite interesting, right? It's like you are on, how do you call it? Um, there's this thing in livestock, where animals they live from an area where there's no fruit, to a greener pasture kind of that. I think transhumans, right? That's transhumans, if I'm correct, where they carry their cattle from, let's say, from the hills. You're muted. You're muted.
I wanted to, I'm not sure what word exactly.
Okay, I think they call it transhumans. Animals they live from the hill down to the valleys during the dry season. You go down the valleys, there is some fresh grass. So it's like for you left Nigeria. You didn't only leave Nigeria, you quit your job, right? You left everyone behind. You left your family, you left your job, you left the whole Nigeria, came to Ghana, right? Just for a tech program, and then you expect to probably get a job maybe in the next few weeks, few months or so, right? So when you're doing all of that, was anyone guiding you? Was anybody like telling you that, hey, do this, do this, do this, do this? How was that for you?
Okay, so in terms of guidance, the bootcamp that I joined, Developers in Vogue, thankfully they had a community. So basically after the 3 days training, there was a community where I could join to ask questions. Although I never had asked any questions, but I still joined the community anyway. And I was just there looking around, learning. I was still learning on my free code camp. And then the person that I came to that was in Accra and then introduced me to the program, he was already part of the Python community here in Ghana. So usually for the Python community, they do this Django Chaos training. And since I had already started learning Python and I was learning the free code camp as well, I was like, okay, let me just apply. I did. I applied as a mentee, and then during Django Girls, we usually like paired with a mentor or two mentors. So we call them mentors.
Okay.
That are more like trainers. So basically they would take us through the training, the Django Girls training, where we get to learn about command line, all of this in a day or two, mostly 1.5 days actually. So when I applied as a mentee, fortunately for me, I got paired with someone like one of the senior engineers in the community. And that was how it became my default mentor. There wasn't like a
Wow.
special application that, oh, Noah, I'm sorry I'm dropping his name now, but there wasn't like a special application that, oh, hey, Noah, I want to be your mentee. And not also, it was usually during the program, they say, okay, you have 3 mentees, you have 2 mentees, and that sort of thing. And that was how the whole relationship stuck. So you trained me during Django Girls. You were my mentor. You taught me how to like write Python code, build web applications. So even after the program, even after the training, you've become my default mentor. So it kind of like guided me through. And then the way the Django Girls program is, it's the whole thing during that 1.5 days that we had. We were encouraged to go back and then continue with the application. So I think we're building a blog then. So we were encouraged to go back even after the training to continue building. So learn how to like just complete the whole tutorial basically. So that was what I did. After the training, I completed the whole tutorial. If I had any issues or any error, since I had Noah's number on my phone and I could reach out to him, that was what I did. So basically, I just reach out to him. Hey, Noah, I have this issue. Could you help me? What do I do? How do I fix it? I've tried these things in the tutorial, but it's not working. So that was how he was able to like guide me through during that period, I would say.
Wow. Wow. That's interesting. I think when you were talking about this, it actually just brought me to what we do here at Solavis Tech, right? There's this thing where we do mostly with our students. We encourage them to not actually like kind of pairing with the teachers, right? But first of all, you try to pair among themselves, right? Sometimes your mentor doesn't necessarily have to be someone who has 10 years experience, 5 years experience. It doesn't necessarily have to be someone who knows better than you. It can just be your next colleague or your collaborator, or maybe your classmate, right? And along the way, you realize that what you're getting from that person, it's even better than what somebody with 5 years experience, 10 years experience might have not have given you, right? And also with that, what we've noticed is that when we do that in our community, there is that proximity that you can easily reach out to someone. If you're not paired or if you're not in contact with, let's say, a tutor who can also be a default mentor, like you said, there is that proximity that community gives you by default, right? By default, there's just that proximity that you have within the community. You don't have to go on LinkedIn searching for typing on the search bar mentors, or maybe looking for, let's say, cloud engineer with 10 years experience. So, and then you start DMing them that, please, I want you to be my mentor, right? Sometimes, yeah, it actually caught my attention and how we can take advantage of what we already have, not always looking outside, right? What we have around us, to take advantage of those things without necessarily paying so much price, right? Yeah, that was actually most important that actually caught my attention. And with Noah, you talked about your relationship with Noah, right? You mentioned certain things that he kind of um guided you, right? For example, I don't know if you can take yourself back a little bit and recall an instance where if Noah wasn't there for you, how would that have affected you?
If Noah wasn't there.
Yeah.
So I'll say first of all, because of the way I leveraged like community into getting into tech, I think I had like other people that probably would have supported, not even probably, definitely would have supported me in my tech journey if I should reach out to them. But I also think that I think having that so I won't say personal relationship, but that's easy straight line for me to know that okay, this person actually trained me during my Django Girls training. He knows like
Yeah.
my background, where I
Yeah.
started from, and it
Right.
has like context into my programming skills, I would say. So
Yeah.
he knows how to like relate to me. He knows, and I would say Noah is an excellent man. Even till now, is as I say,
Okay.
I sometimes I call him sensei because I just call him that for fun because even till now that I'm in this, I'm definitely not a beginner. And in my mid-level career, I still reach out to him occasionally if I have like some issues or if I have like some error that I can't fix. So just having that straight line. But if it wasn't there, in not being able to like reach out to, although I had like this whole community, my developers in Vogue, my Django Girls community, I think it would have been, and this is me saying it as it is now, not trying to like sugarcoat it or something. I think it would have been very lonely. I probably wouldn't have been, I might have reached out to the person that got me into the training, sure, because he's a software engineer as well. But it still would have been lonely somewhat because that means I have to like start explaining myself over again to someone new that doesn't have context into my level of programming, or even felt like, oh, would this person judge me, or how would this person feel about me not knowing something, even though it was highly encouraged in the community. I think Eric has dropped off.
Oh, no worries. Okay, I didn't even realize that. Thank you so much, Ramat. And I totally agree with you that sometimes there's that subtle role that mentors play that can totally change the trajectory of our careers. At this juncture, I think I can get from Promise then Patrick, especially what the role of any mentor, it can be formal, it can be informal, that has played a part to your career journey that you just shared with us. Maybe you can start with your Promise, then you can go to Patrick.
I think when I look back at my journey, I would say I didn't really have a mentor because for me, anybody that had a job in the tech industry is my mentor. I mean, you are already where I wanted to be. So I didn't have like this particular person that would just go and say, okay, teach me everything. Because, everybody at that time, you were into cloud engineer, DevOps engineer. It was very pertinent for me to understand, do I even want to be a cloud engineer? Or am I just doing this because that's what everybody around me is doing? So that's why at the beginning, I tried everything. I I tried network engineering, data analysis, cloud, DevOps, software engineer. I tried everything. But it was pertinent for me to understand where do I find satisfaction. So because of that, I did not have a mentor. But I did have people that if I was stuck on building something, I can go to. So which means I knew somebody that was a data analyst. I knew somebody that was a network engineer. I knew somebody that was a cloud engineer and somebody that was DevOps engineer. So they are not officially mentors, but they were somebody like people I could just go to and say, I am stuck on this. At that time, there was no ChatGPT, so you have to, figure out things by yourself. Or if you're lucky, you find the answer on Stack Overflow. So those people were very important. So that's why I try to tell like my mentees too. It is important that you understand why are you learning what you're learning? Are you learning because I am a DevOps engineer? Are you want to be a DevOps engineer? Or are you learning because, okay, it's something you actually find satisfaction in learning? So when I looked at the old cloud DevOps, I realized that, okay, everybody wants to be a DevOps engineer. Perhaps there's something different I could do to position myself properly. So yeah, officially there was no mentorship, like mentor. I think my mentors have changed over time. They also always change. If I find myself in a new job, my mentor changes. My mentor becomes the person that is already in that company doing what I'm doing and is doing it very, very well. So that person becomes the person I want to be like. And unofficially, that person becomes my mentor, which means I go to that person when I have issues with my job, build a relationship with the person. But it is important that you do not, I always say, do not follow the trajectory of people's life. The fact that mentorship didn't really play a huge role in my career doesn't mean you should not have it. Because you also have to understand how you learn. Are you somebody that likes to learn on your own? Or are you somebody that needs community to learn? Or needs somebody to draw a structure for you? For me, I can learn on my own. I can draw structures for myself. For people that I mentor, they cannot do this. So it is important that they have somebody that does it for them. So you really have to be careful not to follow sometimes the blueprints of somebody's entire career, because it might not work for you. So explore as much as you can, explore mentors as much as you can. Don't just say because, let's say, Patrick is a security engineer, I want to be a security engineer, and you follow the blueprint and you don't find a job and you're like, oh, okay, this does not work. And then you just stop the whole learning altogether. Yeah, that's been like the ups and downs.
Yeah.
But I think having somebody to guide you on the career journey is very important. I do have that. Somebody if I probably lose a job, I can go to and say, okay, I lost my job. How's the job market? How do I position myself right now? The person gives me like tips on, how to interview. We practice interviews together and so on. What projects to build. So I had that one person all the time that had time for me for all this stuff. But generally, I think I had a lot of people, but I wouldn't call them mentors. I just call them people that had time for me.
Love that. I really love how you put it. If I was putting it into perspective, I was noting down, you're saying mentors are dynamic, not static. You cannot have like this one mentor sticking through with you in
Yeah,
every
I mean, you
organization and
cannot
such.
be. I also see a lot of mistakes that people make. You cannot be in
Mhm.
Nigeria or Cameroon and have a mentor that lives in let's say US or UK. You are deceiving yourself because that person does not understand how the market works in Nigeria.
Mm.
This whole concept of always having fancy mentors, it doesn't work. You should have a mentor at the stage where you are right now, where you has this person done what I have done? Has this person looked for a job in Nigeria and found a job? Or has this person looked for a job in US or UK and found a job? Does this person understand where I am? If you do that, then mentorship would make sense to you. You would reap the benefits of mentorship. So structure Nigeria where you are, like Ramat mentioned, where I am right now, somebody's already there. So I should follow that person's, not the blueprint entirely, but the goal. The goal is to get to that place where that person is. And whatever that person has learned to be there, I should learn it. But I should not just follow the straight blueprint of that person. I might learn differently. Location also might matter to me. Opportunities might also matter to me. So you have to factor in all the stuffs and also.
Sure, I agree with you. And please, as we go on, I can see the chat is already having thanks so much, views about the big up with the panelists and the insights that you're getting. Feel free to drop your questions if you have at any point in time. I'll move on to Patrick as I take in what Promise has said. There's this quote that says, "You are born an original, don't die a copy." So that means that you should not like duplicate your mentors' career. You'll be shocked. You'll not even get to stage one. Patrick, what do you have to say about this discussion?
True to that, Kevin, and I think I'm going to pick right from where Promise has left, and I'm also going to re-echo that quote that you just mentioned. That indeed your mentor, you're not supposed to be a photocopy of your mentor. Your mentor is just supposed to be like a guide, someone that shows you the way, you know. And I think it's Rahmat who also said that mentors are people that are already where you want to go. You know, they are there, you see them there, and now you aspire to get there. So they will help you to get there. But the way you get there should not necessarily be fixed to the same way that they follow to get there. For example, let me give you a personal example, and I might ban, but let me just ban anyway, together with the matches. Kevin is a mentor of mine, but me trying to keep up with what Kevin does, I would actually not make it past day one because Kevin is in almost all events. Kevin is doing amazing things. And then there's one day I asked him, Kevin, are you sure you have 24 hours like me? Because he's at Solavice, he's doing this, he's sitting for this certification. You see him in this event, in that other event. Then when he gives the summary of the things he has done, and then you look at yourself and say, well, if this is my mentor, then I think if I was to be copying everything that Kevin is doing, then I will be a photocopy of Kevin. But one thing that I've learned from Kevin, and actually he helps me do a lot of things, I'm trying to position myself. In the career that I'm at, I'm trying to position myself to make sure that I get the most out of the time that I have, the limited time that I have. And yes, it is actually okay for you to desire to be like your mentor. But remember, being like your mentor is not the same as copying your mentor and being their copy, or rather being a mini version of themselves, because all of us are unique. And I normally say that myself as a person in tech, I am a sum total of very many things. I'm a sum total of my environment, the opportunities I get, the people that have been around me, and even the challenges that I've been able I've been able to overcome. And again, I also kind of agree with what Promise has said. It's always important to try and get a mentor that is alive to your lived experiences. Because if I have a mentor, say from Kenya, that mentor will be alive to this one I might ban. I don't want Majabu. Yeah, so I don't want I don't want a mentor who would think that I am in that place where maybe our tax regime is favorable. But if I have a mentor who knows the opportunities we have in this country, the challenges we have in this country, the kind of sponsorship scholarships that we can get in this country, then that person will be of more benefit to me than having someone who is far off, drawn away from me, say someone in a place like Canada, for example. Nothing wrong about having a mentor from Canada, but they will not really be alive to the things that are present here. I think that is very, very important. And there's this book that I read. I read about mentorship, and they were saying this, that a good mentor pays it forward. And one thing that I learned about this guy that was trying to mentor this young person, took this young person to a five-star restaurant and told him that I've brought you here for the purposes of changing your mindset, to show you that you also deserve to be here. That when you enter in such spaces as the one that I'm in here, I know that I'm big in business and stuff, and you admire to be like me, but I want you to know that when you get into spaces, first of all, believe that you belong in this space. So I brought you here for you, first of all, to believe that that you belong here. And I'm going to cover your bill so that next time, once you make it big, I want you to do the same for someone else. So what am I doing? I am paying it forward. So mentors pay it forward to, first of all, deal with the mentorship of the mentees. It's good. It's good to desire to be a DevOps engineer. The way I desired once to be a DevOps engineer, because the friend who brought me into tech was a DevOps engineer. So I looked up to him as a mentor. Then when I got in, it became a rabbit hole of sorts. I got myself going into different holes. Kidogo, sorry, the people don't understand Swahili here. A few minutes, okay, in some time, I get myself in, okay, at some point, I was a software engineer. At another point, I was a cloud engineer. At another point, I was a security engineer. Now I am in data analytics. And, so it is just interesting for us to get ourselves in those places. But I think I will summarize it by saying this. Mentors are great. Mentors are very, very great. Personally, I actually mentor someone who is a software engineer from a different country through a different program. And there are different things according to that program that makes this ideal. But as you think of mentors and mentorship and the mentorship program to get yourself into, also look at
your situation and what you wish to get out of it. It's good to have local mentors. It's good to have mentors from Africa. And in some instances, you might actually find that maybe you might even need mentors from outside our continent. But now, when you get those, make sure
Yeah,
that you balance them. Thank you.
I agree. I have to deal with Patrick. Patrick can spill it all, and he can start saying things about me in our sessions. So he's just saying, don't try to be like me. I know I want to give also Eric to take over this session. Uh, I had to I think reschedule once this exam that I just did yesterday. I mean, not yesterday, today in the morning. And I have two more, professional and an associate cert, and then I do two more, then I get done with those AWS certs, they get out of my way. And still, I'm going to be an MC at an event next week and attend two other events. Just don't try to be like me. And I'm here at Solavis Tech running a 30-day Terraform challenge. Sometimes it's
You
hard
see?
to be me, so don't try to copy. Don't try to copy me in terms of what I usually do. Anyways, Eric, I can see Ramat has her hand up. And before I give you the floor, let's get to hear from Ramat, and then Eric will just take over right after.
Yeah, thank you. So I wanted to say, okay, maybe not a contrary opinion, but just to add to what Promise and Patricia said. So I think in terms of like looking for mentors with your lived experience, I would also say maybe perhaps it's important to also maybe look for someone that doesn't have your lived experience. Why? I would explain. So basically, maybe I'm not aiming to, I'm seeing someone, this person is, let's say, a senior software engineer or a staff software engineer or a program manager at a very big company or a DevOps engineer and other sort of things. But perhaps I might be looking at to become that person or to want to be like that person. But then having someone with that doesn't have my lived experience, I would say now, is they kind of bring in a fresh perspective into what I'm thinking. So let's say I know a friend that has a mentor that's not even in tech at all. Basically, her mentor is not in tech at all. She does art and all of these things. But anytime she has like issues, even with applying for jobs and all of those things, her mentor is able to bring in like a different perspective, even though they are not in the same career line, they are not I'm sure they probably do not have like the same career aspiration, maybe similar in terms of leadership roles or something, but definitely not the same software engineering roles. But being able to get like different perspective of someone that's not in that your lived experience, that doesn't have like context into how the job market is. Another example is I'll say being able to have like audacity to apply for something. Maybe someone that doesn't have my experience with the way the job market is now would probably be like, oh, why don't you just apply for this role? I'm sure you can do it. But maybe for if I had a mentor that was in that role with the same experience or something, they might probably be maybe not their fault, but they might be like, oh, the way the economy is now or the way the job market is now, I don't think you should try and apply for this role. Maybe you should study a few more, or maybe you should learn something or learn these particular skills whilst being able to get like a fresher, different perspective from and then just like give you some perspective from someone that doesn't have like as much context as possible and just like new ideas are flowing compared to like someone that's been in the same line, the same career, the same ceiling and all of those things. Yeah, so I don't think it's a contrary opinion, but just like
Yeah, I do.
yeah.
I do understand what you're trying to say. I think it's important I make it a little bit clear. Uh, like I said from the beginning, you have to think about why. Why do you want mentorship? Why do you want a mentor? In every area of your life, actually, you should think about the why of why you are doing something. You should think about why you are attending a boot camp. You should think about why you need a mentor. You should think about why you are even learning, why tech or whatever. So when you think about why do I need a mentor, at the stage that you are with your life, for instance, Ramat, you might not need a mentor to learn tech right now. You might need a mentor for, let's say, I want to get a job abroad. In this way, you will need somebody that already lives in the country where you are aiming to go. So that mentorship changes. Now, if you are in Nigeria or Ghana or Accra, and you actually want a job in Accra or in Lagos, it would not make sense for you to now start looking for a mentor in Canada. Now, if you finish learning, that's why I said my mentors have changed over time. The mentor I had when I was learning is not the mentor I had when I was looking for a job. I had to also assess, okay, the mentor I have right now, is he good at actually preparing me for the job market? I looked at it and I was like, no, this person is not good at preparing me, because this person did not look for a job. He got a job in networking and stuff. So I needed somebody that actually looked for a job. I will give you a practical example. I think 2 years ago, if somebody came to me and say, "Oh, I am looking for a job in Germany. Can you help me, writing CVs and assessing the job market and all that?" I would say no, because I did not look for a job in Germany. I was moved to Germany by a company that I did not even apply for. Now, if the same person comes to me now, I would be able to do it, because 2 years ago I was laid off. I had to spend so many months in the job market. So now I understand how the job market works. I can now be a mentor for that person. Now, if the person came to me last time, I probably would not be able to. I might have accepted to be a mentor, but it would just be a fruitless effort, because I don't know how the market works. I don't know anything about the market. So that's why when I say looking for a mentor that actually wants to go, like, you want to be there, that is your end goal. But it doesn't mean you have to follow exactly the blueprint of this person. But you have a goal. I want to be where this person is. I want to be in Canada, where this person is. So my mentor has to be in Canada. It doesn't mean whether it's tech, whether it's art, whether it's accounting, this person has a job in Canada. So he is able to tell me the formats of the CV, that how it works. But it will be very important that you find somebody that actually it will be in tech, because you want a tech role. Anyways, you should get it. If somebody in ACT is trying to tell me how to write a CV, I probably would. It would probably not be the way somebody in tech will tell me how to structure my CV, what projects to put there. You understand my point? I have a lot of mentees in the UK. I am able to do it because it's the same EU, right? The market works the same way. But in a different continent, I sometimes do not do it, especially for people looking for a job, because it will be fruitless. If you are telling me about how the market is in Accra or Lagos, I have no experience. I cannot help you. I can never help you write a CV. I could tell you projects to build because it's the same DevOps, but I cannot tell you how to sit for an interview, how the interviewers, the mindset works and all that. So that's the point I was trying to make.
Well put.
Awesome.
Nothing I
Awesome.
can add to that. Eric,
Awesome.
over to you.
Right. I think this discussion has actually gotten heated, right? And we want to hear it from our participants, right? Those that are watching in the background, those that are not showing their faces, probably they are just feeling the heat too. Guys, let us know how you're feeling in this conversation. Just put it in the chat. If you can unmute, feel free, right? You can put or something. Let us know how you feel about this conversation.
I'd
Guys,
like
let us know.
to,
Let us know how you're feeling in the conversation. Yeah.
yeah, sure.
Yes,
And
I mean,
I'd like to invite Dr. Samba to this call, and if he can turn on his video. I know Patrick sent a bomb there and said you cannot have a mentor from Canada, and he didn't understand.
sure,
And
sure, sure.
and
So exactly. Before Dr. Samba is joining,
yeah,
also for those who want to join our community, right? For those who want to join our community or maybe follow our social media handles to stay, posted with our announcement and the upcoming sessions, right? I'm just going to drop our links to our WhatsApp group, LinkedIn, and Facebook, guys, you can actually follow so that you don't miss any of the upcoming sessions, right? So while Dr. Samba is coming up, quickly join, follow us on any of these media handles, right? So yes, Doc.
Okay, thank you so much, our amazing panelists. You guys have just been doing justice to this topic around getting a mentor. I've just been so wowed by not just just what you're saying, but you're talking from a point of experience. You're not sharing from what you read. You're sharing from I would say that just to add to this, I would want to talk around how to find a mentor, because that's one aspect that many people are still finding a challenge at. I mean, in some communities where I see people just come and drop, hey, I'm looking for somebody to mentor me, please. Can you mentor me? And sometimes it's a bit tricky to get to someone and say, I want you to mentor me. But there are many mentors out there who are looking for mentees, right? But it's hard for them to find mentees. So I just want to talk around this. See, to get someone really accept to mentor you, you must be mentorable. Because most often than not, mentors are very busy. They are good at their craft. Please just bear with me. Okay, take. Yeah. So most often, so I have an assistant here. Sorry, that's why I hear him commenting. So most often than not, people say, "Oh, promise I'd like you to mentor me. Oh, Kevin, I'd like you to mentor me," but they are not mentorable. They are not teachable. They are not coachable. They are not trainable. So if a mentor has achieved some results and is very busy, what would make him say yes to committing some time out of his busy schedule to want to mentor you? So you must show proof that you are worth investing in. Because most often than not, that mentorship, it's a two-way thing, right? But it's more beneficial to the mentee than to the mentor. And so most often than not, you don't pay for it. And that's the reason why most people abuse that mentorship, right? So how can you attract mentors towards you right now if you're taking down notes? So take a look at that space or that environment, what you're doing, and who has achieved those results that you want to have that person mentor you. Where is that person found? Can you find that person on LinkedIn? Can you find that person on Facebook? Is that person in your local environment? What is that person doing? So go follow those mentors. Go like their posts. Go comment under their posts. Do they have books they have written? Go buy their books. Are they organizing seminars online in your locality? Go attend their events. Buy their content. Read about it. Write on social media. Post about it. Tag them. Once you keep doing this, what happens is that they start noticing you. And the moment you now would have built some trust around them. They may not know you, but just keep seeing this. Who is this guy that's always liking my content? Who is this guy that's always posting about, interesting stuff and then tagging me? Sometimes you maybe send them a request, they will not respond to you, right? Because they are very busy sometimes. You maybe send them a message, a DM on LinkedIn, they will not even make as if they've seen because they have many other people reaching out to them. But just the fact that you've been liking what they're doing, it shows that you have some interest in what they're doing. If they have an event physically, you pay for that event, go attend it. Take a picture with them and things like that. The moment you reach out to these people that you want to be mentored, they would have already been convinced down the line that this person is mentorable. Because you've shown interest in the things that they do, and now they'll be willing to commit some time to. So that's how you can attract a mentor towards you. I'll give an example. Where Patrick was talking around, maybe, or Kevin was talking about it, like, or I think Promise was talking about it, like, you want to move to Canada, you need a mentor. Me getting to Canada, I'm just about 8 months old in Canada right now. How did I get here? Somebody had been observing me on LinkedIn. And that person is a person of Coach Emmanuel, is one of my mentors, is in the US. He was observing my journey. And then one day he just came sorry. Thank you. Take. Okay, 1 second, guys. So he just came to my DM on LinkedIn, and then he sent me a link to a certain program which I could apply for. It's called Express Entry Program to Canada that needed skilled workers. He said, Dr. Samba, I've been seeing what you're doing. You're doing great stuff from Africa, even with limited resources. But do you know that you can have a bigger impact if you made a geographic shift? Initially, I was not interested in traveling, maybe to settle in Canada or in America. But he sent me that link that I could follow through the process and he could guide me and I could move here. And that's how it all started. I started building a relationship with him. He connected me to other people. And today I'm here. I'm able to move with my family. We came in as permanent residents. And I started work in the IT space. But my background is not in IT. I'm a medical doctor. For those who are maybe joining for the first time, I'm a medical doctor, and I just found myself, I just got into IT, just to make my life better and the life of my family better. And today we are here having this conversation. So it's important. I just wanted to hit on this fact that you can attract the right mentors to mentor you, but also you must be teachable, coachable, and trainable for someone to decide to invest their time and energy in mentoring you. Thank you very much. Over to you, Kevin.
I'm sorry. I
Thanks.
think I'm going to add to what
Yeah.
Samba just said. Just one word.
Yeah,
Sure. I think that was a book I read. I don't remember, but the line was like, you're only as good as your learner. So whoever you are mentoring, you're only as good as that person. So which means however that person shows up is how you show up. I'll give you like an example. I currently have a mentee in UK through the Coding for Black Females program. Initially when we started, she didn't take it seriously because obviously it's free. So people don't take free stuff seriously at first. So after like 1 or 2 sessions, I realized that if I was going to achieve anything with this person, I'm only as good as how good she would be. At the end of the program, they're not going to look at her. They're going to look at me because I am the mentor. I should be able to put her in the right track. And that's how we started, I think, few weeks of our actually learning what consistency is. We had to build a whole course on consistency, read books on consistency as I take. Because she had the ability to learn, but she didn't have the soft skills to build consistency of anything, like being consistent or something. So yeah, it is important that as a mentor, you find somebody that is as good as you. For me, it's very important. If I do not see the drive, there's this passion that you have when you are learning, because over time you don't have the passion anymore. Trust me. At the beginning, you have that fire, that motivation. If I do not see it at the beginning, I know that the road down is going to be tough for the both of us. so if I don't see that passion, I do not even start. Because at the middle, I have to start dragging you, because then it is consistency that would, survive everything. So picking a mentor, whether it's on LinkedIn or whether it's just live or whatever, again, it boils down to the why. Why am I learning this? That's what when I started when somebody writes me on LinkedIn like, oh, I'm being a mentor, I'm like, okay, why do you want to be whatever you want to be? Write me like an abstract of what you want. Why are you there? Like, what do you want to be? Why do you want to be a cloud engineer? Write me an abstract. Tell me your schedule. Like, draw your program for me. Because if you make them do the work, it's easy for them to stick to the program.
Well said, well said. You just made me remember. It just hit me that me and Patrick are part of a program called the Global Mentorship Initiative. And there was one time I had to report a mentee and stop the mentorship just even after one session. And it was a sim because when you're in a structured mentorship program, you have to report whether the mentorship is going or it's not working. But I had to tell those guys I'm dropping this mentee, and it was simply because the mentee showed entitlement. We were supposed to meet at around 9, And then they're like, actually, it was around 8. Then she told me, let's meet at 9. Then I said, okay, it's fine. I can find my so I had to push my calendar so that we can meet at 9. Then at 9, I think she made a comment and said that I like it was like it was as if I was the mentee, and she was like, I'm kind of held up right now. Maybe we can find some other time and something of that sort." And at that point, I dropped the mentorship immediately. I also shared the reason and the screenshots to the guys, and they said we really apologize. And then I think I even took a bit of a break from that mentorship program because I told them, if you cannot match me with someone who or if you're not vetting people before you match us, you have to do something. So you said something very important. You have to match the energy. And Eric, I can see you are sitting in the cold. Let me bring you to the stage. And you can take over the rest of this part. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Kevin. Thank you, everyone. I'm actually learning a lot, right? Especially from the perspective of, seeing who is mentorable, right? A few months ago, somebody got to me on LinkedIn, because I shared that one of my mentees actually got a job, right? Cloud and DevOps role in Nigeria. And so when he saw the post, he reached out to me and was like, yeah, I want to mentor me so that I can also get a job, right? And I didn't tell him that I'm going to mentor him or that I'm not going to mentor him. I just asked a few questions and, his background, the projects he's done, the level, how he can rate himself when it comes to certain things. And then I realized that he was lacking in one thing, right? So I gave him a task to go and do. And he I don't know if he did it or he didn't do it, right? But I never got any feedback. I never got any feedback. For me, that was just a red flag, and that was it, right? Yes. So there's one thing that happens in mentoring. It's a give and take. Like if your mentor tells you do this, you have to do it and you give feedback. Don't wait to be asked. Did you do it? Have you done it? No. You are not a kid. They are not like after you, like, chasing you, right? Sometimes you just have to do things and then you reach out and say, hey, I did this. How do you think, how do you look at it? What can you say about it? Right? If they give you a task, go do it, come and report. Don't wait to be told. Don't wait to be asked. That is one thing that can sustain your relationship with your mentor, right? It's not like, them chasing after you. And to you, Ramat, I don't know what are some common mistakes that you see mentees when they are reaching out to you, or those that you're mentoring when what are the common mistakes that you see them making?
So, common mistakes, I would say, perhaps the first thing is, so okay, I had someone like reach out recently on LinkedIn, and fortunately she had actually already attended one of the training we did at my workplace, and then I didn't recognize her then, but like she reached out again on LinkedIn. Oh, this is what she wants to do and all of those things. Oh, can we have a call? I said, sure, we can have a call. We had a call. I gave her my WhatsApp number if she wants to, because it's faster for me to read messages on WhatsApp than on LinkedIn. Then we had like a really long call on Google Meet at night, and after that, she mentioned she reached out to me on WhatsApp, but after that, she didn't reach back. So I think it was around the questions of she does a lot of things. She does coding, she does I think digital marketing and some other things and all of those things. So she wanted someone to kind of like guide her on what our next career should look like. So I told her straight, I said, first of all, me too, I'm also trying to figure out what my next career would look like. But these are the steps I've taken. And then even now in terms in the age of AI, this is how I've been able to like leverage AI to achieve this particular thing. I didn't want to share the prompt I used. So I was just like, this is how I've used this particular tool. I mentioned this is how I've used ChatGPT to get clarity on what my next career field should look like, or what my long-term career should look like. This is how I've written the prompt. I didn't mention the exact prompt, but basically just like samples since we were on a call. But then after that, she said, oh, she's going to try it out and all of those things. After that, I didn't hear anything. I think she messaged me on WhatsApp one time that, oh, she has a quick question for me. Am I available for a quick call? The first thoughts that came to my head was that I am not available for a quick call. If despite the fact that we had, like, you mentioned the first time that you wanted to have like a quick call with me, and I was able to kind of like make time, make space for you to say that, okay, this is the time I'm available, so let's have this call as soon as possible. That does not give you like the right to say next time for you to come and say, oh, let's have a quick call. That, because that would require me dropping everything else I've planned to after call with you. You could have just sent a message on why exactly you want to have a call. And that's one thing I've seen across like all of the other people I've mentored as well. If you have an issue, for me personally, even if I give you something and you're unable to do it, I think I understand the fact that maybe this person is busy or perhaps some life issues or something came up. That is why they're not able to do it. And then just come and say, okay, this is the reason why I'm not able to do this particular thing, or this is what happened that I'm not able to achieve this task, and this is what I've attempted so far, but I wasn't able to complete it. But not for you to come into my DM and say, oh, can we have a quick call? Aye, but you won't tell me what the issue is. So I've seen that issue across like the different mentees I have, where they don't go to like their what they want exactly. So just tell me what you want. Even if I have context, tell me what the issue is. Tell me what you want me to say, because it's also a way for me to prepare myself, right? So go straight to the point. Stop delaying. Stop saying, hi, hello, I'm waiting for me to respond, or saying, can I get on a quick call with you? And I have plans to, I have things I'm doing, or I've set out my structure in a particular way that I want to make sure that I follow that structure. So don't come into my DM or my WhatsApp and saying, can we have a quick call? Can we jump on the call? Are you? And then another thing is following up as well. So when there was another mentor, so we're doing like this Python training. She said she wanted to learn Python, and fortunately around that time I was reading I think this automate Python. I've forgotten the name now. It has automate and it has Python in
Automate
it.
boring stuff with Python.
Exactly. Thank you. So I joined the reading club where we were kind of reading it once again, just like, okay, let's freshen up our Python skills and all of those things. So let's learn it. So I told the girl that, okay, this is what I'm reading in my book club. If you want to learn Python, you can. This is a very good guide for you to. Now we won't even be mentors and mentee. We'll literally just be like book readers, and we discuss what we've learned. Oh my, I have to be chasing this lady all the time, literally. Okay, have you read this book? She was like, oh no, I haven't read it. She was like, oh, I wanted a job, and this is a career I want to go to, cybersecurity. I thought that I'm not skilled in cybersecurity, but these are people that you can follow to learn cybersecurity. After 2 months, I went back to ask her, so did you follow these particular people to learn about cybersecurity? Did you apply for, I think, cyber her girls or something? Like it was a training on cybersecurity. Did you apply for it? Or if you didn't apply for it, what happened? Because there are some situations where you couldn't apply for something. The same thing, no feedback, nothing, silence, no response, or even when they reach out, they won't like go straight to the point. I think those are some of the things I've really not liked
Yeah.
with mentees, because personally I don't like wasting people's time. Like if I have like an issue, when I reach out to people I take as my mentors as well, just go straight to the point. And I've seen this a lot with even like people online share around. If you're reaching out to someone, just go straight to the point instead of like going back and forth with that person. So yeah, I think those are
Yeah.
the two things.
Great. I love that. I've actually called it in my own way, the can we have a quick call syndrome. And the other one is the following up on the work done. Our last promise, I know promise might be having a couple. I'm also listing them down, and I hope our listeners and our viewers are actually following these. And if you have any questions, especially on these areas that you're covering, please feel free to drop it in the chat. Promise, over to you.
I think in my case, it's more of, like I said, when I jump on a call with, so before even jumping on a call, usually when somebody says, "Oh, do you want me like mentor and all that?" It depends on the channel that they reach out to me, and depending on the channel, I'm able to spot the, like, if this person is mentorable or not. So the person that reaches out to me on LinkedIn, I have like a free, mentorship link. The person books. Most of the time, they don't even read my profile, because if you read my profile, you would see a link there to book. Now, the first thing is, if you now start asking me question, it means you actually did not read my profile. So how do you want me to be a mentor when you did not even take few seconds to read my profile to see that there's a link to book an appointment there? But sometimes I ignore that, because most times people would think it's free. It's paid anyways, but for me, it's free. And if they book the call, we get to that point. I see this mostly around people calling from Africa. For me, if I get on a call with you, I go straight to the point, because we are not there to know each other. I don't want to know about your personal life. It is a call for me to know what I can do for you. And we get on the call, you don't have a structured talk like, okay, this is what I am learning, this is what I am doing, this is, how I want you to help me. It is not there. So it means you're already telling me that I will have to chase you for everything. Because if I have to tell you what to learn, because you don't even know what you want to learn, first of all. So how do I help you? That's always a question that once somebody is not able to answer, it means you don't even know why you want to learn what you are learning. So that's always the first mistake. You do not know why you want to be a cloud engineer, or you want to be a DevOps engineer. And that throws me off, first of all. That's always the first mistake. Now, when we get past that, level of, okay, you know what you want. Now, the second stage now would be, okay, I give you something to go and learn as the first, I draw out a structure and everything. I usually just start with Python, because if you can stick to learning Python, you can stick to anything. Most people cannot stick to learning Python. So that's always my filter. I give you something to go and learn, and I don't check in. I don't do anything. I allow you build that, structure for yourself. Most times I do not hear from them, and that's how we close it, right? So first thing is, people don't know why, and if you don't know why, I do not do it. The second thing is, if I chase you more than once, then you are out of the program. I should not be chasing you. I mean, no mentor should be chasing anybody. Because everyone is doing, we're all giving back. And if I have to give back to somebody that is not serious about it, I do not do it. That's also one mistake that people also make when they come to me. I think the most important one for me is the drive. There must be something you are sacrificing to be where you are. This is what people do not understand. Like Ramat said, she has to quit her job. I had to pause my master's degree for almost 4 years to just learn. First of all, I will have to ask, what are you sacrificing for this? My current mentee also had to quit her job in the UK to find a part-time job so that she can focus on, learning the stuff. Because if you are giving up something, then you take it seriously, because it's not a do or, like I said, it's either this or nothing. If you get to that stage where you say, okay, it's either this or nothing, then you know you are ready to learn. So I always ask that question, what are you giving up to be here? If you're not giving up anything, then it's not going to work. Because if you have a full 9 to 5 and you want to learn tech inside 9 to 5 fully, it means I will be chasing you, because you always tell me you are working. And it is not going to work. There must be something you are giving up for something. Yeah, so it is important that you understand why. And if there's no why, I do not do it. And that's a major mistake. Now, if you reach out on LinkedIn and you want to say, okay, this person should mentor me, there should be a structure of what you are writing. Do not just say hello or I, whatever. If you write me hello, I will block you, because why is saying me hello? We don't know each other. We're just professional, acquaintances. So, my name is whatever. I am currently, learning whatever. I am stuck at, okay, figuring out whatever. This is how I would want you to help me. So, you end it like that. And this is what I aim to achieve in this, in this mentorship. When you are able to structure it like this, it works. It also applies to all aspects of even work. If I am going to reach out to a colleague at work that I am stuck on a task, I do not say let's jump on a call. Because why are we jumping on a call, first of all? You would not write it. So it is more of I am working on this. I have tried this, but it's not working. Do you have any idea why it's not working? Because the person you're going to call might never have any idea what you're doing. Do you have any idea? That person is then able to decide if they have a knowledge of what you're doing, or you should reach out to the next person. So yeah, don't just reach out to people randomly. Have a structure. Draw out a plan before you start talking to people. A lot of people are busy, and if they have to sacrifice their time for you, they should be able to say, okay, this person is serious. I will close with this example. There's a girl from Madagascar I was mentoring, or I am still mentoring, because she found a job, so we're no longer mentors and mentees anymore. But when she was looking for a job in Germany, actually, she moved here for I don't know if anybody have heard of the opportunity card visa. So she moved from Madagascar to Germany with that stuff. And she was here for like almost 6 months. The visa was already almost expiring. She did not find a job. So at that time, she reached out to me and she was like, okay, I am not finding a job whatsoever. And when we jumped on the call, I could see that she had potentials with the way she was explaining what she has done, how she has applied. It motivated me to sacrifice my time for her, because I had to restructure her CV. I had to make her practice, interviews and all that. And yeah, after like 3 weeks, I think a few days ago, she got a job. But it was possible because she showed me she had potentials, that I am not wasting my time. So it is important that when you jump on a call with anybody that you want to be okay, this person should be my mentor, it is important that you have a structure, go straight to the point. What are you learning? You cannot just come and say, I want to be a DevOps engineer. Obviously, you want to be a DevOps engineer. That's why you're in the call. But you should already at least be trying to do something on your own. Be learning Python, SQL, whatever you have been learning, just start something first. Show the person the motivation. Then, yeah, that person will be motivated, to take you on along the way.
Awesome. I totally agree with you. And you've said something very important around something subtle as someone checking the profile and seeing that you have a booking link plays a huge role, huge part in terms of showing that you pay attention to detail, and you still insisted this throughout your opportunities that start with why. Start with why. I think that is something that has already really come in very strongly from you, Promise. Patrick, what do you have to say? I know you have so many. Don't say many things. I know you. Yeah, I know you have so many things that mentees should not do. You might be having 100 ways or 1,000 ways to die as a mentor.
Thank you, Kevin, and I'll take that warning into advisement. Now, number one, I would say I always look for mentees that match my energy. As in, I think the previous speakers have already said it. Your mentor is a busy person doing a lot of things. So anybody that takes their time to give you an opportunity to be mentored, then you should match their energy in terms of motivation, in terms of your availability, and in terms of your discipline. Discipline in the sense that you will follow through the mentorship. Discipline in the form which presents in the form of you doing the work that has been provided. And it's really interesting that when you give a mentee work, that is when you really get to separate the chaff from wheat. You give them a small assignment to do, and then they've disappeared. You wonder, how will this work? So that is like number one. But now I think for me, above all else, and it is interesting to hear that all of you are saying the same thing, and you are actually pissed by it. The fact that someone wants you to mentor them, but even the way they approach you shows you that this is going to be a trouble, some kind of a relationship, because they lack that commitment from the get-go. Someone just tells you, hello, hi, I saw you in this event, full stop. Can you mentor me? So they are telling you, can you mentor me? Mentor you for what? In what? What do you want me to mentor you? I've done a lot of things. Which area of mentorship do you want? I am married. Do you want me to mentor you in marriage? Do you want me to mentor you in tech? Do you want to mentor me to mentor you in telling jokes? So I have done a lot of things. So just be specific in your ask. It's very, very important. And then I think another thing that I would also say is yes, the mentality that people come into the mentorship with. You want to be like me, it's okay. You want to get a job like me, it's okay. But know that there is a journey. I think personally, I really get pissed by people who focus on the outcome before appreciating that there's a process that leads to the outcome. There are many sacrifices that people make to become who they are in the careers that they are in. So if I tell you that you'll have to go through step A, step B, step C, step D before you get to that final place where you want to get to, and then you get this person that comes and say, no, me, I just want to become a DevOps engineer, and they're very new to tech. I want to become a DevOps engineer. You tell them, no, you need to start by doing fundamentals of IT to understand at least the basics. To become a network engineer, for example, you need to understand Linux. They don't want to hear that. They just want to hear this flowery name, DevOps engineer. And by the way, the time I came into, Kevin will allow me to say this. Please don't mute me. So by the time I got into IT, there was a lot of flair and a lot of hype around DevOps engineering. So almost everyone wanted to become a DevOps engineer. You would actually wonder, you've just walked into a room, you are new into tech, you are new into cloud, and the only career you would hear people talk about and actually glamorize is DevOps. So even the mentees that I meet nowadays are those that want to go into DevOps, but they don't want to start from a place where I feel will give them a good foundation and will set them up for success. So as a mentor myself, if I discover that you are into outcome only, not appreciating process, I drop you. And then very finally, Kevin, I also believe that, you see, let's jump into a call should be something that come out after you have told me what it is that is bothering you. And then as myself, I can now sit down and determine and see if I can sort this through a documentation, a link, or whatever to save on time, or if we need a call. And sometimes you might even need to do, yeah, we have someone from TeamViewer. You might actually even need to do something like screen sharing or stuff. I tell you, share your screen, let me sort this for you because it is easier for me to do it. Myself, and then you follow through rather than me having to explain to you step one, click here, step three, left click there. No, you're right clicking, left click. You see, so sometimes it gets easier. But I think up and above it, it's very, very important for mentees to understand the mentorship might be free, but people's time has value. Thank you.
Well put. Well put.
Let me, I just
Yes,
want to
yes,
add one
promise.
thing to what Patrick just said. When he mentioned something about, the mentality and all that. When about somebody just wanting the outcome and not focusing on the beginning. So when people say they want to be like me, generally, especially women, because my mentorship is 90% around women, actually. I barely mentor men. Yeah, something like that. But yeah, my mentorship is around women. And when they come to me, like, okay, I am especially stay-at-home moms. My focus is always around stay-at-home moms, to learn Python coding. I think I have successfully like 3, 4 women. They work from home now with their children, so it's a perfect, ways for them to be working moms per se. So initially, when they come to me and they're like, "Oh, I want to be," I'm like, "You can learn this and still not find a job. Let's be clear on that first." But you look at it this way: I learn, I might find a job, I might not find a job. I do not learn, but I don't know if I will find a job because you did not learn. So if you come to me with the mindset that you need a job in 6 months or in 3 months, I am not doing that. Because personally, it took me 2 years to actually learn. Like I learned And I think that's why we have a lot of half-baked DevOps engineer out there right now. It's not like there's a shortage of jobs. There's no shortage of job. There's a shortage of engineers that actually know what they are doing. That is the challenge. I think in Germany also, that's the challenge we have. We have a lot of roles, but when I sit down with people that actually say they are DevOps engineers, they do not think systems. And how do you think systems? Because you missed the foundation. You did not learn Linux. You did not learn how to draw. Because you also know you need to learn how to draw. And then when I tell people, like I tell most of the people, because I also teach one-on-one, and I tell them, go and draw. Like draw what you are thinking. They look at me like I'm like, you need to learn how to draw. And if you do not know how to draw, I just drop you. If you think drawing is it doesn't make sense for you to be drawing as a DevOps engineer, then I just stop. So yeah, people that focus on the outcomes or before actually focusing on where they are, it's also a red flag, like Patrick said, for me also.
Couldn't put it in any other way. Eric, what do you have to say? I don't know whether your notebook is already full. You had gone to pick another one. Eric, can you hear us? I was just thinking maybe it was a
Yes.
lag.
Can you hear me?
Sure. Sure, we can.
Okay, all right. I want to first thank you so much, Kevin, for standing by always for me. Right. Oh, please, can you hear me? Oh,
Yes, we can. Yes, we can, Eric. I don't know if they can hear us.
Yeah, I can hear you.
So Eric, at any point in time when you're already up, please let us know and I'll give you the opportunity to speak. There's something that when I think each and every okay, let's wait for his network. Anyways, there's something that when each and every one of you are saying, I put it down in a way that it says mistakes that most mentees make. And one of them is like, can we have a quick call syndrome before anything? Tying a mentor to your career ambitions. You want to become cybersecurity, you drop Ramat, yet Ramat has something that she can offer to you, even though she's not in cybersecurity. And then she connects you with someone in cybersecurity, and you do the other mistake of not following up on what you're supposed to do. And one thing that promised to mention, not knowing why you want to be what you want to be. I think I wrote it that way. I think as I'm going to understand it that way, that if you want to become a cloud or machine learning engineer, because right now Patrick was mentioning DevOps. Right now, everyone wants to say I'm an AI ML engineer. I am an ML ops, whatever.
There's also AI SOE right now, so yeah, everything is AI.
Yeah, and then right now people don't want solutions architect. It's so traditional.
Yeah,
They say I'm a
not everyone
forward
wants to be AI engineer, so yes.
Yeah, AI forward delivery engineer. I sit at the intersection of solutions architecture and AI, whatever. I don't know what that intersection is or the junction, but you're seeing all these, and those people don't even know how to tune hyperparameters or even talk about things around LoRa and
They don't even know how to
the
check memories
epochs.
in a system, and you want to be AI engineer. AI runs on systems. You need to be.
Yes.
I mean,
You
when
see
you're
it.
actually working on the
Yeah.
job, you will realize
Yeah.
that your AI, like we barely even use 20% of this whole AI stuff. I think a few days ago we asked Copilot to summarize meeting. Copilot was asking me what meeting was.
The things we see, I lead an AIML user group, but anything that I usually hear in the AIML space is just crazy. For me, I think after I went to Las Vegas in reInvent for 2024, I said I want to come back and build a career or be an SME, a subject matter expert in AI/ML. I was only well known in cloud security, and I'd built a whole career and my branding around that. So I said the only way I can do this is build a community, set up a user group on AI/ML, start doing machine learning certifications because it's going to give me structure, and then start organizing events that will make me know people in the space in the AI/ML space. And that is how right now I even forget that I'm in cloud security. Let me not, Patrick doesn't want to throw a bomb that I'm in cyber security, I'm in AI/ML, I'm in project management or product management. Let me not start talking about those things. Anyways, but the other thing that you said is not being specific in your ask. That is, I think, what Patrick you mentioned, and not matching the energy of your mentor. As a mentee, you should match the energy of your mentor. If your mentor comes in strong like Patrick, you should now start looking for jokes before the next session. Start giving jokes together, even if it's not going to be funny. Just try to match the energy. And the last one that you mentioned, which I noted here, is focusing on the outcome and ignoring the process. When something fun, so mind-blowing that promise you've said is you don't have a challenge of not having jobs. We only have a challenge of people not knowing about what it takes to do those jobs, the fundamentals, the things that are there. And I'm just sharing something, and I can see Doc is on camera. I know he wants to say something. There's these amazing thing from Fred Swanica, who is the founder and CEO of ALX, about the 4 steps of relationship building. And I usually love that anytime I meet a mentee, I make sure I share with them this article as the first thing so that they don't forget that there's steps towards relationship building. And I tell them, please don't think that you're going to come in and say you want us to collaborate on a project, or you want me to give you some people come and say, do you have an internship at Solavis Tech? Or do you have these? I don't even know what you're capable of. And they just want you to start working. What do you think? I don't even sometimes Dr. Samba you should be very happy on the amount of people I see they don't get to you, because I don't even like I don't I don't allow them to come. I don't even send them to you because I know you'll be like, Kevin, of all people, you decided to just pass on this person to me to disturb me. So I take all the disturbances on your behalf. So it's only like around $50 per non-mentee and $100 for every mentee that comes in live. Anyways, Doc, you want to say something?
Yes, thank you very much, Kevin. I always like to bring into perspective how we got to know each other. For those who maybe are hearing for the first time, I've never met Kevin in person. It's all been online, and we've been doing great stuff for close to 3 years now. Kevin was equally just attending sessions like this, and then on one technical session, he just sent me a DM. And from that DM, immediately I booked a meeting with him and a co-founder, Dr. Kizito. And in that conversation, I made an offer for Kevin to join Solavis Tech as the CTO instantly, without even asking for any CV. I never needed a CV from Kevin because he had the proof of work. Your LinkedIn today is your proof of work. So moving from that, he just talked about being in Las Vegas and the inspiration. He went to Las Vegas. By the grace of God, I'm opportune to have signed his recommendation letter for that program with AWS, where he was at reInvent. He represented Solavis Tech right there. In fact, Solavis Tech went to Las Vegas before the founder, thanks to Kevin. And today, what's happening is we are in the process of getting Solavis Tech registered in Kenya as we speak. So Kevin is working on that process. So you can see the chain of events, from just being part of a podcast like this. Why am I sharing these stories? Because you can pick up a mentor from this event. We are creating a space where people should not think that these opportunities are far-fetched, right? From this call, someone can get to know promise, and from that, DM, an opportunity can show up because people keep getting to us every single day. There are no jobs. How do we get these opportunities? Oh, I've done a boot camp, I've bought courses here and there, I've studied all these things, but I'm not getting offers. It's because we are trying to demystify these things by letting people know that there's an informal way of doing it, right? Where you can attract opportunities towards you rather than chasing those opportunities. You can attract mentors towards you rather than chasing after mentors, and they're not ready to put in the time and energy to mentor you. So you can see the chain of events from Kevin joining a session like this, and then even these podcast sessions was Kevin's idea. He birthed these podcast sessions. He just told me, he said, Dr. Samba, I joined Solavista through a technical workshop. What about if we could just, come up with something non-technical? And I asked him, how can we call it? He said, what if we just give it a name, Fireside? I said, let's do it. We never had to spend time to think, to say, okay, no need for let's learn by doing. Let's just, and I say, okay, how can we start? I said, let's start next 2 weeks. Do you have some names of people that we can bring on board? And that was it. We had 20 speakers. 20 speakers. We just reached out to them. They just said yes. We came up with the program and we did it back to back. So guys, these opportunities are there. They are there. What these people are saying here is not far-fetched. It's right here. And we're trying to build a space that is safe for each and every one of us. But also, I would also want to add this. If you are looking for a mentor or if you're being mentored, one of the things you also want to have is be patient. Be patient. It takes time to build trust. It takes time to build credibility. It takes time. And sometimes you may reach out to a mentor and it may not be the right time for that mentor to mentor you. I'll give an example. I got a mentor. In fact, my mentor right now in leadership and business, I had never met him in person. It's the person of Dr. Madison. And I just want to share something a bit around this. See, I've been following him on LinkedIn, on Facebook. I've been seeing what he's doing, speaking in conferences, and I love public speaking. It's by the grace of God through him that I'm a John C. Maxwell certified public speaker and trainer right now. But how did I get into his space? I just saw him posted something one day on LinkedIn and he was doing a speaking session in Germany. And this is what I did. I liked his post and I just came and commented under his post. I said, Dr. Madison, you inspire me a lot. I look forward to the day I'm going to be sharing the stage with you. Guess what? Immediately, he came to my inbox. This is a Harvard professor of business analytics. He lectures in Palm Beach University in the US. He has a very amazing career. He's trained more than 25,000 days across the world. But he comes to my DM, writes me and says, this is my WhatsApp number. Can we get on a call? And he told me, see, he says, he's somebody who is very selective, right? But he just felt a certain energy around me. He checked my profile. He felt a certain energy and he felt comfortable to talk with me. That same day, I went on a call with him. It was 1 a.m. US time. We spoke for 2 hours. This is the first time I'm meeting this amazing professor online. So you see, and I want to bring this line here that you can write this down. Whatever you're looking for is also looking for you, but not this version of you. Whatever you're looking for is also looking for you. So that ideal mentor you're looking for is also looking for you. But you may not have grown to that stage that, by law of attraction, things will click. The moment you grow into that next phase, you notice that the energy just becomes natural. And once you reach out or once they reach out, things just flow. So be patient with yourself and understand that it takes time too. Even with your mentors, they get busy. It takes time. But also you must have a roadmap for yourself, like Patrick said. He says you must know what you also want because it starts from there, right? Know what you want. But knowing that, Solavista here, just as I wrap up this session given to me, we are building a safe space for everyone, and some great stuff is coming to East Africa. In fact, what is coming to East Africa, thanks to Kevin's presence there, is mind blowing. And if you're not yet part of this community, we strongly encourage you to join the community, connect to the speakers that we had here on the call, and so together we can build great careers for ourselves and for our generations. Thank you, and over to you, Kevin.
Thank you so much. I was just thinking about I was just hearing and say, I hope Doc has not forgotten that this is not our monthly strategic evaluation meeting and starts sharing everything about what you're planning out in Solaris Tech, because he's super excited about this. And thanks so much. I was like, please don't say everything that is going to be happening. Anyways, thank you so much, Doc. As always, you said something very important in terms of whatever you're looking for is looking for you, but not this version of you. And I was connecting with what Promise was saying about systems thinking. You have a DevOps engineer, like you've started out, and for the job that you're getting, the job that you already do have is there. The opportunity is looking for you, but not that version that is just not doing systems thinking, is not doing architectural diagrams and all these. And a mentor is there to help you know and go beyond there's a quote I was listening a certain audiobook anytime I've gotten this new thing out of Audible, and there's a book by Joe Foods called The AI Driven Leader, and you're saying it's hard to read the label when you're inside the box. So if you're thinking inside the box that you're in, you cannot read that label on which whatever the label could be stupid and you don't know because you're inside the box. It's hard to read the label when you're inside the box. So you have to think and get out of the box so that you read the label that is on that box. And sometimes, especially when people get into tech, people get full of themselves. They forget the lifelong learning mindset. They forget that they even forget to come back and say thank you to the mentor. I think that's the other mistake that most mentors make. And I say Promise is laughing about this. She can count the
Yeah, I
number
mean,
of people.
it's always like that. Most times I'm always the one to ask, like, did you get a job? And they're like, oh yeah. I'm like, okay. And yeah, I was thinking, okay, is this person still jobless? What?
They
Yeah,
didn't even
that's
come and
very
say thank you.
important. Very
Yeah.
like it still boils down to, keeping up with,
Mm-hmm.
your mentor. Anybody
Mm-hmm.
that's going to keep up with you past the mentorship relationship, from the beginning. Because if you keep chasing the person, it means when the person achieved the goal, you're not going to hear from them again, because when the person needed you, you have to be the one to chase them. So if they don't need you anymore, it means it's over.
Exactly. And then it goes back to the transactional nature of people, how they
Yeah.
take mentorship as transactional rather than having like realizing that it is a relationship that you're building, and it can go beyond the structure, because a mentorship has to have a definite start and end, especially when the goals are met, unless you have to start another which that has another particular goal. I always think of it like a project. You cannot be in a perpetual mentorship. That, as Patrick was saying, they started mentoring you on DevOps. Now you're saying, now can you get into marriage? Then can you get into bearing kids? Can you get into becoming grandparents? You're just continuing and taking it to the next phase. It's tiring to be the same mentor to the same mentee for decades. It cannot work. Yeah, that is the other thing. And the last highlight that I have, then I give Eric, is one thing that has really stood out in me in this session is you don't follow the blueprint of your mentor, like the trajectory. I think Promise is the one who said this. You can see me, don't say you want to go and do the same certifications that I've done. Maybe I'm just doing it for maybe one I was just doing it for fun because I had a voucher for it, and you're just there cracking your head
Yeah,
to do that and to
I'm sorry for cutting you
yes,
short. Just to add
yes,
something
yes,
here,
please
hold on.
go.
For instance, I do not do, I would say I do not like boot
Mm,
camps, but I
yeah,
would not suggest to my mate not to do boot camps, because
yeah,
probably he or she likes a community learning. I do not like big boot camps, not because I think they are not useful, because I think I cannot learn with people.
yeah,
It is very important that I find one person that will, face together. Because with people, they are not able to catch up with, my knowledge. Because I learn really fast, and I'm already one pace behind, and the teacher is one pace back. I get bored, so I do not do boot camps. But I cannot tell somebody else, don't do boot camps. So that's what I mean by, roadmap. So if I am talking to somebody, I get to assess, okay, does this person need a boot camp for accountability? Or can this person learn by themselves? Based on that, I can suggest, okay, do this boot camp. Or just, I can give like, okay, go and learn Python. These are the resources that you can use. Because whatever you can learn on boot camp, you can actually learn it yourself. The only difference is bootcamp makes you accountable. They give you structured learning projects, but bootcamp is always 20%. You do the 80% by yourself. So if you know you cannot build accountability by yourself, you need a bootcamp. If you can build accountability by yourself, then you do not need a bootcamp. You need one person that would put you on track, whether from the bootcamp or whatever. You need a private learning whatsoever. Yeah.
I agree with you. I'd like us to flip the script, and I know I want to give Eric an opportunity. I'd like the three of you, Promise, Ramat, and Patrick, to answer me these. We want to flip the script a bit. We've been talking about what it takes to be a good mentee, because our current mentees will be mentors very soon. They'll be mentors. So what can you do to be a good mentor to a mentee? You're doing amazing job as being mentors, but what does it take to be a good mentor? Especially the first one being not trying to make the mentee a duplicate of you, not making them do the same things that you are doing, and saying if you don't get a job at TeamViewer, then you're not that good. That kind of a thing. Anyways, I think we can start with you, Promise, because you're still, your mic is still hot. Then you can go on with yeah.
Now, I think if you want to be a mentee, the first thing is you realize you should make sure that you have time, because it is time. It is time that you need for this person. So being a mentor is not as glamorous as people make it to be. You need to have time. Somebody could, I mean, sometimes my mentee would write me in the middle of the night, like, I am trying to build this pipeline. It's not working. What do I do? I sometimes have to jump on a call with her to figure it out right there. Why do I do this? Because there was somebody that did that for me too. In the middle of I think at some point, then I was learning Jenkins. This person stayed up with me for a call till 1 a.m. That was his time, almost 6 hours, just trying to figure out something. So you need to have time for people. And you also need to enjoy, like, you are somebody that enjoys helping people. If you don't enjoy helping people, you cannot be a mentor, because at some point you're going to do it for free anyways. There are some you're going to do for paid. There are some you would do for free to help the community. But if you do not like people, or you do not like giving back, there's no way you can be a mentor to anybody. And I think the last thing I would add is you should be somebody that is very strict to the program. If you do, when I pick up a mentee, I tell them, if you do not do this, I am dropping you as soon as possible. If you miss one call without any reason why you are missing the call, because I had to cancel my plans to schedule that call to be at home, and then you are writing me 1 hour before the thing that you want to cancel, we end the whatever we're doing, we're going to end it immediately, because it means you do not value my time. And if you do not value my time, why would I spend the time with you? Even if you're paying for it, it still do not guarantee. You don't still have the right to cancel 1 hour before, because I am at home. I could have used it for something else. So yeah, I think that you have to be very strict, draw out a pipeline for somebody to be able to say, okay, if you don't do this, we end this. You also have to be able to enjoy helping people and all that. And keep in mind also, you have to be a very active person somewhere. As a mentor, you have to build a brand for yourself at the end of the day. So building a brand, having time for people, it takes a lot of time and energy. Because sometimes you are on a call with somebody and the person is crying that they cannot find a job. That is emotional dumping too. You also have to be prepared for that.
Wow, I was just even when I was about to write about be ready for emotional dumps, and you've already done, you're done with it. So I'll write it later. But you said something very nice. Actually, you're even lucky that your mentees can cancel 1 hour before. Patrick can tell you some cancel when you are alone in that Zoom meeting. And then you are asking, where are you? Then they are like, were we to have a meeting? Then that is when you now realize that you have to deal with it and leave
Yeah.
it.
I
Ramat.
think it
Yes,
happened to
yes,
me
yes,
last week,
okay.
actually.
Yeah,
The person told me
yeah.
he was in church. I'm like, are you serious? You're in church. I'm not saying don't serve God, but you're in church and I'm at home waiting for you to join the call. So I
Maybe,
just blocked the
maybe,
person
maybe,
from booking future meetings.
maybe they
And I
could have
was
said they are praying for you to be a good mentor to them. I think they just didn't frame it very well. Anyway, Ramat, how about you?
So I think I have just one thing. I'd say empathy. So, and what does that look like? Basically, trying to definitely it might be hard, have structure and all of those things, but then being able to like meet your mentee over there or understand their own point of view, it might really help the relationship because I mean things really happen. I'll say I've had like personally myself, I've had like sometimes where maybe impromptu things come up. At my workplace, we're always having impromptu like back to back. Oh my, so yes, I think 2 days back, my colleague was just saying, oh, I'm traveling for this thing and it is very important. So for this event, you're going to be the host. That is impromptu. That was not something I planned for. So I want to say maybe like extend empathy to like whoever's going to be the mentee as well, to assume that they could also have something on their end, or perhaps they're trying to learn something and it's not going well as it should, but they are too scared to come. Yes, please, I'm so sorry for that extra noise. Yeah.
It's
So
okay. It's very good to have assistance. Dr. Samba is taking the lead on that one. Anyways.
right. So basically like being able to say that they perhaps they're too scared to say that they don't understand something, or they don't feel comfortable enough to come say that this particular issue is hard. I think I saw someone in the chat saying they had to like install XAMPP for a very long time, but they couldn't like install it. That's something because I feel like if there was, I don't know, I don't want to speak for that mentor because I don't know the relationship and all of those things, but if empathy was in that situation, could have thought about around the fact that okay, even installing example, maybe if the person was using a Windows laptop or a Mac laptop, it could have been difficult compared to someone that's using like a Linux system. That is something the mentor would have known since they have like experience with installing it. They must have seen it. They must have like maybe no envision what the whole issue is going to be, but realize that perhaps this person is not reaching out because they feel some way about not knowing a particular subject or not knowing something. So I think that's one skill I would say, and that's basically what I've always used with my mentees, being able to meet them over there. Okay, know that not that I'm definitely just going to give my whole time away and all of those things, but understand their point of view. Okay, if this person is not reaching out, why is this person not reaching out? So what could be the issue? Because I think it would also help in meeting with whoever my next mentee is going to be. How do I like manage that relationship with that person? And even for me as a mentor myself, because I'm someone's mentee. So how do I manage that relationship as well with my mentor? And who would my next mentee is going to be? So I think that's one thing I would really say to kind of like develop as a mentor. Yeah.
Awesome. Really appreciate that. And you said something very important about the empathy. And I think it also goes to it is a way that someone has to be open so that you can see it from their own point of view, and so that it can also be quite empathetic because it can help the relationship around it. Yeah, so I totally agree with you on that one. Patrick, again, I give you a
Beautiful.
disclaimer. I give you a disclaimer. Go on.
Oh, there's no disclaimer. Okay, good. Okay,
The
so
disclaimer is silent. I've already said it without saying it.
I have seen it, and I'm going to say that it is beautiful to speak after two very knowledgeable people who have already said like everything, but I'm going to summarize it in three important things. Said differently, I will say to be a good mentor, you need to be patient, you need to be graceful, and you need to be willing to share the much you know. And I think when I jumped into this place the first time, there is someone that was saying you don't need to find a subject matter expert to be your mentor. A mentor can be someone that can just share that step where they're at. Maybe you are beginning, you get a junior who had just started their journey that can become your mentor because you are right afresh. So this junior should be willing to share what they mean, what they have. And by patient, it does not in any way excuse mentees who are not serious. As in, you don't become patient with someone who dodges your call, who does not show up when they're supposed to show up, who does not send an apology when they know very well that they'll not make it into a session. So patience just means that you look at them where they are at in terms of their journey, and then you give them the room to grow under your guidance. Then grace, again, it's actually like another name for empathy. Grace is understand that people sometimes go through issues, and issues might actually cause them to like disappear on you once in a while, not often, just once in a while. Maybe power did its thing and now they are not able to come in. So once you've understood what made them do what they did, maybe they did not submit their assignment on time, then it will actually help you to develop even a better relationship. And of course, willingness to share, that is self-explanatory, because you cannot mentor someone that you're not willing to actually share with them what it takes for them to become what they aspire to be. Yes. So I think I would tie it there. Have I lived up to the disclaimer?
You've really lived up to it. I was so happy. When you say, I love it. You know, have to put a speed governor on this guy. This guy can can create another session inside another session. So, anyways,
I just want to add a little bit to
yes,
what
yeah,
Patrick had just said.
yeah, yeah.
It just reminded me of a story. My colleague Matey from Coding for Black Females, at the time we started, she was relocating to somewhere. So the first 2 weeks, it was more of like, I am moving, I am moving. So I had to find a balance between grace and being strict. Because if every week you're going to be giving me excuse of because I am relocating, then it means I am going to keep up with so many excuses in the future. So the grace I gave her was, okay, I would not drop you as a mentee. But it is important that you know that if you come to me again with the same excuse next week, then we are done. And she really took that because I was so much a little bit passive aggressive with when I was talking to her. Because it is important because I saw potentials in her, obviously. So I didn't want to drop her. I knew that she had, potentials per se. So I had to be, find that balance. So finding that balance between being strict and empathy is very important when you are when you are a mentor. And she actually saw how serious I was. And the upper week, she completed all her assignments even when she was moving. So she had the excuse that she was moving. The upper week, she was still moving, but she did those assignments. If I wasn't so direct with her to say, even if you're moving, you still have to complete the assignments. The only grace I'm giving is I'm not dropping you as a mentee right now. And she did. So yeah, Ramat is right. Empathy. At the same time, Patrick, what you said about, that should not be an excuse for, you to start misbehaving.
I totally agree with you. And you just got me thinking. I was reading a certain sticky note that I ever wrote at the start of the year, and it was about some three things I'm deciding to master this year. Is there are three things someone needs to master: the shame of rejection, the boredom of repetition, and the pain of feedback. And when I was just wrapping my head around those three things, something came to mind. Is a lot of people are in the cold, not being mentored, or yes, not being mentored simply because they fear being told no by promise saying busy or ramat, or like they just can't take that kind of being told I can't mentor you. So how can prospective mentees move away from having that fear of the shame of rejection? I wanted this person to be mentored, to mentor me, and they said no. And also there's something that one person in the chat said, the one who was saying installing example, he says that time they were chasing titles. How can a mentee say that I don't, like, they want Kevin to mentor him or her, not because I'm the CTO of Solavis Tech, that's a role, but because Kevin has something to offer. Because someone may come to me like, this guy is the CTO, so just if I'm there with him for like 1 or 2 months, I'll get an internship with him, because so transactional, because of, you see, like I'm in a sphere of influence because of my role. So that's a two-part question. How do you deal with the aspect of fear of rejection? And also, how do you make sure that you don't chase titles when it comes to seeking a mentor? One of you can answer it. It doesn't have to be the three of you. Anyone can go. Then I can take it back to Eric. Just one of you.
I think I would like to take the first question. So personally, I do not have like mentors. I would say, okay, maybe to them they think I think they're my mentors, but they probably don't think they're my mentors, because I literally do not even call them my mentors. Even for the I said like was my mentor during the Jungle Girls program. I literally just call him sensei as a joke, but not really schedule like a one-to-one call every weekend, every 2 weeks, every 1 month. I don't think I've ever had that throughout my career to where I am currently. So, and then I would say that I've had my share of asking people, oh, do you want to be my mentor, and all of those things. And then sometimes most of the response I get is that, oh, I don't know if I can be your mentor, but if you have any questions or if you have anything, just reach out to me directly and I would definitely assist you. And it has worked for me so far, literally. So recently I wanted to apply for something and I was feeling skeptical about it. So I just reached out to someone I know, like we're in a community together, we're in a working group together. And I felt comfortable enough that, okay, for this particular situation that I'm feeling, or this particular opportunity that I feel like I want to apply for, this is the first person that would be able to like guide me. So I just reached out to her and then she gave me guidance. Okay, you should definitely apply, but you should think about why do you want to apply? Do you have time enough and all of those things? And I should get back to her by this time and apply. I didn't apply, but I reached back to her that, okay, this is the so reason why, because what she gave me was a way for me to reflect on why I wanted to go for that role in the first place. So she definitely does not see herself as my mentor, and myself as well. I don't see her as my mentor, but I think instead of focusing on the no, or if someone says no to you, or if someone says I can't mentor you and all of those things, I think you should still think of them as a network of people that you have that can guide you in whatever phase or whatever career path you're on, even life and all of those things. If I want to apply for a job, I know someone that I can speak to and say, oh, I applied for this particular role. I'm feeling some way about this. What do you think I should do as a next step? These are the things that I've done. If I want to do my community stuff, I know people I can talk to. So to me, I don't see them as my mentors. I see them as a network of people I have that are willing to support me, and then I can also provide them value as well. So even if I say, oh, come on, these days I don't even say, come and be my mentor anymore. I literally just say, oh, I enjoy speaking to you, try to build a relationship with them, and then just like making sure that, I think someone said earlier about like making sure, I think Kevin, it was you, making sure that they see you, you comment on their, or was it the
That
doctor?
was
That's
that was
Dr.
Dr.
So
Samba.
Samba.
That was Dr. Samba.
It
Yeah.
was Dr.
yeah,
Samba.
Dr.
Yeah.
Samba. Yeah.
Yeah.
So where you make sure that they see you and all of those things. I have someone I follow like that on LinkedIn. I remember stalking the lady all the way from Instagram to LinkedIn, and now she has started like posting. I've never reached out to her to be my mentor. She's not even in the tech space, she's in the finance space. But I really like what she does, and I want to like follow. So these days I've been like making sure that I'm on her post, I'm commenting, I'm liking, I'm reposting and everything. Not because I want her to be my mentor, but because I want to be able to add value to her. And then also I want to kind of like keep her in the network of people I know, sort of. So when I have an issue, this is the person I can reach out to. Not focusing on, I mean, because if you reach out to someone and they tell you, no, it's definitely going to pain you. So I don't even bother reaching out. But
Yeah.
if you want to, you can, but don't let it hurt you in any way. Perhaps they do not have the time, or they do not have like the space or capacity to mentor you, but just like focus on the fact that you've built relationship with these people and you can reach out to them when you need support, or even when you can provide value to them as well. Yeah, thank you.
I
I think that's,
totally
I'll
agree with
answer the
you.
first one.
Awesome. I think someone can, I don't know the promise of Patrick, you can hand out the second one. Patrick, can you
Sorry,
say
can you
something?
repeat the
Okay,
second one, please?
yeah, so the second one was, how do you overcome the temptation to chase titles? Like, I want Promise to be my mentor because
Yeah.
she's works in Germany. She's working at TeamViewer, the sponsor of my Manchester United. Anyways.
Yeah, but it's that it you know it circles back again to why. It's all I think that's always my motto is why do you want me to be your mentor? Is it because I am a site reliability engineer? You probably don't even know what a site reliability engineer does. Anyways, why do you want to? Is it because of where I live? And you just like that idea of, oh, my mentor is in Germany, my mentor is in Canada, my mentor is in, UK. When you could have actually had a mentor that is like at the backyard of your house, that you can just go to his house or a house to say, okay, I have issues with this, just help me. So it is very important that when you want to pick a mentor, you are not picking a mentor because of the title. When you kind of decenter the old title phase, then you are able to pick a proper mentor. I once had a mentor that was doing an internship. I mean, it wasn't even up to a year in the job. It was still an intern, but I don't have a job. This person is an intern. So it means this person is, one step ahead of me. Even if he doesn't have a title, it's probably in his profile, it's also still apprentice. But an apprentice is already doing, a little bit of, even if he doesn't have like expert knowledge, but he already has a job. So it means, yeah, this person is one step ahead of me, then this person can actually guide me to, okay, how did he or she go, like get there? So you don't have to start chasing, the old senior cloud engineer, senior technical, senior project manager, senior this, senior that. You could have a junior as your mentor. You could have an apprentice as your, because you don't even have a job. So that person is one step ahead of you. That person can be your mentor. And what can that person guide you to do? What to learn to get to that place? Even if the person cannot give you expert knowledge of the field yet, but the person can guide. I mean, I started being a mentor after 6 months in my role. But who were my targets? Career switchers. Because I am able to teach them how I got to that place, what to learn, projects to build from a beginner's perspective. This, because I just freshly got a job. It means I know what the market needs at that time, compared to a senior DevOps engineer that probably has not looked for a job in years. That person cannot mentor you to get a job. So it is important that you don't chase titles. To move your mind from title, focus on the person who is Promise outside the title, outside the old tech stuff. Who is this person? Am I able to actually build a proper relationship with you outside, technical stuff? Do I even care about you? Because I have to care about you to mentor you. I have to care about your personal life too. Are you married? Do you have children that disturbs you when you are learning? I have to know these things. I have to care about your children too, because I have to also know I is this one, I is that one, because I get immersed in your life. What you're doing, what you're learning. How is your husband? How is your children? Are they disturbing you? When do you have time to learn? But that is outside my title. It is me and you outside the title. It is me and you outside you being a learner and me being, a mentor for you. It is you as, let's say, Ramat. Who is Ramat? Who is Promise? One-on-one session, like just me and you. I mean, sometimes I share skincare routine with my mentee because she's female, so we just share skincare routine outside tech. Most times she has like, these all female talks and like, oh, you can try this medicine for, to feel better. You can try the skincare product because we built that relationship outside her being a mentee and me being a mentor. I personally know everything about her life. I think I even know up to how she broke up and how she did not break up. Because at some point I cared about who she is, and she also cares about who I am, as promised. I have shared a lot of personal stops with her too, and that has also motivated her to, stay grounded and, just focus on the goal.
That's I don't even have comments around that. Patrick, I hope you are taking notes. Let's look for something. I know we cannot talk about skincare routines, but let's find something. So, yeah, and you said something very fundamental because it's about the African context. We are so relational. We don't just come in and say, what do you want us to discuss today? We have to get to say hi to each other, get to know. It's really about I heard that people like, let's say in Europe, you can tell us because you're there, they're so transactional. When you get into a meeting, it's like it's no niceties, no nothing in many different spaces. Get what, if it's a meeting of 25 minutes, at the 24th minute you should be concluding. No nothing, no, and you should be, I think that's something that maybe Promise you can attest to, that in a European context, mentorship can be quite rigid, especially when it comes to the culture that is there.
Exactly. Yeah. It's for us, it's straight
Yeah.
to the goal. The program.
Mhm.
What can I do for you? What can I not do for you? It is very difficult for you to always build a personal relationship in the European system because for them, I'm not there to know about the name of your dog. I'm there to guide you on something, and that should be the goal.
Yeah.
So I think generally it is generally I think Africans do it like, a little bit differently than you would find a European counterpart do it.
I totally agree with you. And I want to bring Eric. I know Eric has been like aching to get onto the stage and get his voice heard. I know he has gotten a lot of nuggets and is going to be also taking us to the wrap up, because can you imagine 2 hours and 38 minutes in of this session? We've been here for like that time. I was just even telling Eric, I didn't realize how time has really flown by, and you guys have been here. I was even saying that you guys, we should have a part 2 of this. I think we should have another topic around. We should come, you guys, the same panel. You should come for a part 2 and we do something, especially on something around cloud. I don't know. I know Eric is our program like curator, content curator for the podcast, and we work together. But I really wish and I ask that you find it in your hearts and in your time and in your schedules to come back for a part 2, because you've been amazing and it has been such a pleasure to moderate this session together with Eric, because I'm not going to be coming back. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart personally and also on behalf of Solavis Tech for heeding to our call to come for these podcast sessions. As you say in Africa, Ubuntu, I am because we are. And these sessions are the way they are because you guys really show up. Thank you so much, Ramat, Promise, and Patrick. Over to you, Eric.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Thank you so much, Promise, Ramat, Patrick. Actually, I've learned a lot, right? And I believe that everyone here on the community, they have also learned a lot from this session. And of course, like Kevin was saying, we want to have part 2 of this session because when we have a situation where Patrick had to suddenly switch to Swahili without knowing that he was, you know, on the podcast, English podcast, you know that it would have reached, we already reached maybe a spiritual level, right? So we want to have more of such situations, and where you just maybe we just start speaking in tongues. Anyone speaking their local dialect without knowing. So it's actually been amazing, and I enjoy it. And Dr. Samba talked about LinkedIn being your proof of work, and this might be the session or the best first step for you to prove yourself that you are mentorable, right? And to do that, you have to take advantage of LinkedIn, right? Promise might want to coach you, or maybe might want to mentor you, but if she doesn't see that you're on LinkedIn, you are sharing your learning journey, you are sharing about not only your technical skills, but also your soft skills. For example, this session is purely a soft skill learning session, right? You learn how to communicate, learn how to collaborate with your mentor, learn how to create a relationship. So one of the first steps that you can do if you're on this call is to document this session. Document it. After this session, I'm going to drop the screenshot on our WhatsApp community so that you can pick the screenshots, share it on LinkedIn. When you share it, you can tag Promise, tag Ramat, tag Patrick, tag Kevin, myself, Dr. Samba, and the entire Solavista community, and anyone you know who was on this session. That's going to be the first step. So that if you're reaching out to Promise tomorrow, Promise, please, I want you to mentor me. And she realizes that, oh, you actually participated in this workshop or in the postcard. It's going to be a first sign that you are mentorable, right? So I want to encourage us to do that immediately after this. Just do that after this. I'm going to drop the screenshots on our WhatsApp group, and you do that. And again, to let you guys know.
Sorry
Okay.
to follow in shit. I just remember when you just said that. And
Yeah.
if as you're saying it, there's a name that comes to my mind, Chinelo.
Tinelo, yes.
Yeah, I usually always see when I open my LinkedIn, it is
Yeah.
a post I see first on what she's
Perfect.
learning. Now, if
Right.
somebody like that reaches out to me for guidance or whatever, I won't think it twice because the name is
Exactly.
stuck on my head. I see what she's
That's it.
building. It's amazing.
Right.
It's impressive. So
Right. Right.
that is also very important.
Exactly. Exactly. So guys, you can hear it from her herself. So this is your opportunity to take advantage of. Right. And like I was saying, this is just a continuation of our series of podcast sessions. In the next 2 weeks, we are going to have a workshop session. And then after that, we are going to have another podcast session on another amazing topic as well. So stay put on our social media handles. Keep in touch with me, keep in touch with Kevin and everyone here in the community. And feel free to reach out, right? Here at Solavis Tech, it's a community. If you want to learn about cloud, you want to learn about data science, you want to learn about cybersecurity, join us. We can hold your hand, we can support you, we can make you accountable, right? And tomorrow, you also become a testimony to, in one of our podcast sessions to share your story and how you've been able to transition from one career to tech. And sure, we'll be happy to help you. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. This is just the beginning, and let's all stay in touch. Bye for now. Bye, everyone.
Bye. You can share your link, can also
Bye.
connect on the LinkedIn. Bye.
Yeah, sure. LinkedIn as well. Sure.